A neat part of sharing your story is just how much others might see bits and pieces of their own story and someone else's, and you might just find some common ground. In today's Page Turners, we've got a local author who has put his story between two covers. Doug Swinford joins me. Doug, glad to have you here with us.
Thanks so much, Grace, for having me.
Yes. Okay, you have, I think, a very compelling book here that I'm excited to dive into. Tell me a little bit about your book.
Okay, well, the book actually starts in 1983 with life is going great. I'm married, have a young child on the way, and everything's great, right? And then this illness, I'm stricken with this illness, and it causes me, well, for one thing, the first night in the hospital when I didn't know if this was going to drastically reduce my life, maybe not see my first child born, I'm dragging my IV pole in the bathroom. I'm on my knees praying because I felt I had neglected my spiritual life because after all, you're young, so you're invincible. Yeah. And I wasn't buying a walker because I was old. I wasn't worried about life insurance, and I wasn't that worried about my spiritual life. But I decided right then I better get on, shore that up.
And what inspired you to put the start of this story and everything that fills in the gaps between? What inspired you to actually put it on paper?
Well, that is a thing where you think about all these things and you wonder, can something good come out of all these struggles? And so in a way it's selfish for kind of your own meaning, but like as you said, everybody identifies with adversity. So this adversity, which when it first started, did I ever dream I would have 4 transplants? No way. Nothing like that. And I always tell other transplant patients, most people have 1 transplant, live happily ever after. So I don't want to be afraid of what my experience was, but when you have a recurrent disease, which I later found out with Dr. Greenberg at Carl that I had this primary sclerosing cholangitis, was recurrent liver disease, and so forth. So I had a lot of inspiration just in that, for one, that I'd made it through, and that all the people that had prayed for me, pulled for me. This last time they even did a parade for me. I just had so much support, and so that was the driving force.
Yeah, and when someone picks up your book, what do you hope they take away?
I do hope that they find hope, they find inspiration. I hope they get a couple laughs out of it, because I did try to weave in a little sense of humor at times. Chapter 5, well, Chapter 3 is God, Can I Get a Contract Extension? Which we even thought about that as the actual title for the book for a while. But that was kind of a recurring theme in the book, because my big mission was to get, once I had these 3 daughters, single father, I had to get them raised, was my main mission in life. And so, but then I had a chapter, it's called Werewolf Blues, because one of the nurses told me, well, they told me that, he said, you take this medicine, it's experimental, you might turn into a werewolf.
Oh my goodness. And
he said that very flat affect, and the other female nurse laughed and said, you can't say that. But so we talk about laughing about the idea of a dating profile, 3 young daughters, has a scar, they said I look like I had an autopsy, and might turn into a werewolf.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, we tried to find, and one of my favorite pictures in the book is one of my daughters leaping across the living room. That we tried to keep it playful and so forth.
Yeah, so good. Well, the cover is compelling in itself. It says, raising 3 daughters while dancing around death and divorce, planets, transplants, and autocorrect. I know there's so much we could talk about your
right,
book.
sure.
I want to make sure people know how they can get their own copy.
Oh, absolutely. So the primary way is on Amazon.com. The book is available through other vendors, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, the other online. But on Amazon, you get the reviews. I've got a lot of excellent reviews. And you get the author bio and also the book description. You can read a couple of chapters for free, a sample on there. So also, if you're taking dance lessons down at the Regent, Ellen usually has a couple copies down at the Regent Ballroom.
Oh, very good. Okay, I know we got a glimpse of why transplants is in the title, but before we run out of time here, planets, transplants, and autocorrect, what's with the title? Okay,
well, the planets has to do with this tremendous amount of, this last time, all these hallucinations and everything, all the drugs, all the liver failure and kidney failure simultaneously cause all this poison buildup in your brain, but they were all pleasant hallucinations. I was in the sky, I was trying to trace the dipper. I say it's like a baby with a mobile above him. You're trying to trace. And so all these bizarre things, but all these brilliant colors And now the transpose, now the autocorrect has to do with my vision impairment and some of the bizarre text messages I was sending out to friends that I say one of the words, here was a crazy word on Pee-wee's Playhouse called Zizzy Baluba, which is a little bit of exaggeration for how bad my words were, but they weren't making a lot of sense.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's enough to just pick it up, start reading, get your own copy. We appreciate your time here today and
Thank you,
sharing
Grace.
a little bit of your story, of course. Okay. Well, if you would like to learn a little bit more about Doug's book, we'll connect you with how you can get your own copy over on CI Living's Facebook page after today's show.